To my fellow introverts, listen up. We are viewed in a negative light, let's be honest. We've had those situations where we are in a group setting and our social battery drops to zero, like in a snap. Or maybe when you have plans to go out with some friends, but you cancel just cause you'd rather be alone. People look at us and think, what is wrong with us? The truth is that it is a part of us that we really can't escape, being introvert. But I'm recording this to tell you that it's not all that bad. So here are 3 ways you can feel more comfortable being an introvert. Now before I get started, there's this button that says subscribe right next to my channel icon and name. So hit that subscribe button. And if this video gets 100 likes, you guys get a cookie. The first way I would say to feel more comfortable as an introvert is to gain a positive mindset. Now most people do view us in a negative light, like I said earlier. I would say try and wear being an introvert as best as you can. Really embrace who you are. If you do this, and obviously it's gonna take a minute, but you will gain strong confidence and motivation to really level yourself up. Now, you know those negative thoughts that we always have? I would like you to twist them into something more positive or more motivating. I use my negative thoughts as a way to really push myself. I mean, if I'm thinking this way, I want to prove myself wrong. Like, my biggest challenger is myself, and I think that that is a really cool thing. In a way, we do kind of have an advantage over extroverts if you do think about it, because we're in our heads a lot. And to be honest, people view it in such a bad light, but it's really not that bad. Because if you think about it, you can really sway how you think. If you think in a more positive and growing mindset, it will only give more fire to the flame. But you can also, there's a reverse to that, which I feel like most of us have faced before, where we are digging ourselves a hole because we are thinking so much about situations. And it's really just all about how you approach the situation. If you approach it more of a positive light, you'll just see a world of difference, and I feel like you will feel a lot more comfortable in your own skin. The reality is that as humans, there is really no limit to what we're capable of, and I mean, as introverts, we have a wild imagination, and we can take advantage of that. But if you want to continue to dig yourself a hole because you have such a poor mindset, go right on ahead, but I suggest you try and change that. The second way to get more comfortable with who you are is to actually socialize. Now, I know that we are viewed as very, very quiet people and, socializing is not our thing. That's just not the truth. It's not exclusive to just extroverts. In general, building a good social life is key to success because it creates networking and, puts you in better moods, especially if you're surrounded by the right kind of people. These 2 things are really important. You really don't need these big friend circles. Handpicking a close group of friends will make a world of difference. Now, yes, this is kind of on the social side, and I know saying it is a lot easier said than done, but and I get that some of us are really, really quiet, but even if it's just like somebody opens the door for you, like a simple thank you or a simple hey, it can make somebody's day, but also it can make yours too, because you are starting to open yourself up more, and it's just that those like little steps that you can gradually take to really lift yourself up. Talking about me, I used to be a pretty quiet kid, to be fair, but after really starting to gain confidence by changing my own mindset, and also reason number 3 that I'll be talking about in a second, I actually was able to become a pretty social person, even though people were very well aware that I'm very introverted. And it's quite rare to find somebody like that. One last note before I change the reason is being in your head is not such a bad thing, really, but friends can be like that difference maker between you finally breaking through and finding your passion and finding your goals and stuff like that, compared to you just being alone. So I'm not saying having a friend group is necessary, but I think that having friends not only will make you comfortable with being introverted, but will make you more comfortable with how you live your life as well, because they will be supported and outgoing for you. My final reason number 3, is to really embrace loneliness. One thing I learned growing up these past couple years through high school and through my first couple years of college is that really embracing yourself is not a bad thing. And I know in high school everybody like tries and fits in with all the norms and stuff like that. Those are the regular people. You want to really stand out amongst the crowd. And I think as an introvert, we have a big advantage when it comes to that. It's really rare to find somebody who will willingly embrace themselves nowadays, because everybody just follows the same old trends that everybody else follows. And like I said, being lonely isn't a bad thing. It really means that you're just continuing to finding yourself on a certain path. I don't know how you guys were, but growing up, I was probably one of my worst enemies. I actually generally did not like myself, how I talked to myself in such a negative light, but now all these years later, I could say that I'm my own best friend. I'm my own uplifting person, because I really do appreciate how I'm trying to stand out amongst the crowd. It's pretty great. Also, just really trying to push myself. It's really something that you really want to do as introverts, trying to become your own best friend. And while embracing the loneliness, like, if I'm being honest, like when people ask me who my best friend is, I say myself, because I'm trying to embrace that I'm an introvert. Like it's not something that you should shy away from, because we're all born to be a certain way for a reason. That's at least my belief. So working on yourself can honestly lead towards success in the future in general. The world lacks a lot of unique people, and I think that really everybody should try and stand out a lot more, in my opinion. And you may think it's a really scary thing to do at first, and honestly, yeah, it is a scary thing to do. It's a challenge in your life. It's a little blockade in your life, but once you get over that hump, it's only just smooth cruising up. Not the easiest thing, but trust me, it's worth it coming from it. As in, like, trying to open yourself up and trying not to be afraid of who you are. And it's really not a bad thing to be alone. And if I were alone right now, I'd probably be working on myself 24/7. But I made friends throughout the way. There's a lot of people in my life that I don't regret ever meeting. And also there's a lot of people in my life that I know that will, when they think of like, oh, who's JB? I'm just somebody who likes to stand out and really just not be like everybody else. Those are my 3 ways of how I really felt more appreciative of who I am as an introvert. Now, I challenged myself a couple months ago to run a full marathon in November, and it's been going great. And actually, this past week, I ran my first half marathon. Go watch this video next to actually see how I did in the race.